What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. We're here, episode 6. Super excited because we have a guest. Well, that
Over
way,
here.
down the line. Well, now I'm on like the way other side, so I'm like, we're all kinds of moving around everything, but awesome. Welcome, Alex Von David
Thank you.
in the
Thanks for
house.
having me.
Yes. And then going down the line too, we have, I can
I'm
remember
Katie
this.
Cullen. Hello.
Yes. And
This
I'm
one.
Kari Lane. We're going to be talking about Sword Art Online Progressive that came out this weekend. We're also going to talk about LA Comic Con and the premiere of Demon Slayer. So stay tuned. We have all kinds of fun and exciting stuff. Let's start off at the top. As the thing we are excited about is how Sword Art Online came out with a new movie this past Friday, but there was a special LA screening on Thursday. And Alice, how was that screening?
Oh, it was really fun. The obviously due to COVID stuff, the theater was only allowed half capacity. But the fans really dug it. Jeremy was there, Anaris was there, so I got to meet Anaris for the first time. I'd only been working with her remotely. And so it was it was a blast. I mean, it's always a blast watching, stuff you've worked on with the folks you're kind of doing it for, the fans. And they seemed to enjoy it. They laughed at all the funny parts and they cheered at all the cool battle moments and, some of the entrances of some of the characters. So, yeah, it was fun. It was a cool experience. So, Aniplex was gracious enough to invite me to it, and yeah, it's Hideo Tsukamoto over there at Aniplex. So it's always flattering to be a part of it, and I just had a blast. So
Nice.
Well,
And if people, yeah, it's definitely exciting to go back to the theaters. And Katie was saying that's cool to hear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a little. I was a little. I mean, we all had to wear masks and show proof of vaccination and all that stuff, and the folks at the doors were very thorough as far as checking us out and making sure everybody was had all the requirements, all the boxes ticked. But it was still kind of weird because I hadn't been to a theater in 2 years, so it was fun to be there, but also, I mean, I was very aware that we're still not out of the woods yet, and yeah, so
Yeah.
It's fun to be back in public, but it's also nerve-wracking to be back in public.
I mean, I'd be curious. Kari, you said you went to that Comic-Con, LA Comic-Con. And
Katie went too.
Yeah,
well,
oh, you guys both did. Oh,
yeah.
So what was that like for you guys?
It's fun. I mean,
fun and also nerve-wracking.
Really?
Having a good KN95 really helps.
I've been all over the place. I did a film festival in Chicago, and there were very few masks to be seen. But there was vaccination checks at the door on the way in to be part of it. So there was that. I've eased into it a lot more probably than others because I've just had a lot of other random events to cover and be at. I think LA Comic Con did a good job. We'll get into that in a bit. But also, I did want to ask Alex, so if people already saw the movie, that's amazing, and they haven't had a chance yet to check it out, what can you briefly tell people about what to expect in this new one? Because it is more based on the light novel. And something I mentioned on our previous show, if you didn't see it yet, everybody go back and watch that.
Yeah.
It's nice that if you haven't watched the show, you could hop in. So it's like you can bring your friends. It's like you may be a regular SAO fan and you can be like, it's okay. You won't be lost.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's based on the first volume of the Sword Art Progressive novel, light novel. However, right off the bat, it's different than the novel. So they introduce a character that's brand new to the franchise. Her name is Misumi, or in the game, her handle is Mito. And in a couple different versions of her. And the story, instead of following Kirito from the beginning, it actually is more of a story about Asuna, and how she was before she logged on to Sword Art, and what happened to her in sort of that pivotal month after everybody was kind of stuck in the game. And for the folks who haven't seen it yet, yeah, I mean, the first like hour is like a lot of brand new stuff, and then it'll start weaving in moments from volume 1 of Progressive, really cleverly actually, of how Asuna and Kirito met. And yeah, it was, you know, it's they introduced a new character really cleverly, and then they even, you know, built up Asuna's character more than they ever have before. So that was really cool to see. And I think Sherry had a good time playing it.
Yeah.
I think.
I would hope so.
I feel like Sherry always has a good time with Asuna.
I hope so.
Now, Alex, do you know why they brought in a new character? Like, if you have all this source material, they're like, well, let's do something new.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. Unfortunately, I don't have any contact with the creators in Japan. I can only imagine that so much of Volume 1 and Progressive, like sort of just it's kind of the same sort of covers the same kind of ground we've already seen in the novel, and perhaps it was just maybe the writer was thinking, you know, why don't we give them something new? Or maybe he had a new idea for a new character or something. I know that over the years, everybody's really interested in Asuna and where she came from. And so a lot of the arcs that focus on Asuna tend to be sort of the more fan favorites. And
the Mother's Rosario arc, for one.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And so perhaps the author was listening to the fans and said, yeah, you know what? I think we can work it in with this, give them something new that they've never seen or read yet, and build up Asuna's character some more, which I personally appreciated. When I started working on it, I got the video and the first 20 minutes of script, and I was all excited. I had read Progressive Volume 1 and 2 a couple of times in preparation. I didn't know how far this movie was going to go story-wise. So I had my book, I had the first 20 minutes of script, I had the video, and I started watching it and was just going, what the hell's going on? Who is this person? Why is Asuna there? This wasn't in the book. And I'm like, it kind of threw me for a second, but yeah, I mean, after that 20 minutes, I kept watching. I finished the whole movie. So even though I didn't have translations for anything after the first 20 minutes, all of the story of Asuna and stuff was pretty easily, like I could pretty much figure out what was going on just through the visuals and the performances of the Japanese actors. I didn't need like text or anything for it. And then there came a point in it where things from the book started popping into the story, and then the rest of the story of the book that they cover hit, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what's going on. So yeah, it was weird. It was trippy for me. I can't imagine what it's like for a diehard Sword Art fan who's read the book a million times and goes into the movie thinking, yeah, I'm going to see the book. Yeah, no, you're not going to see the book. You're going to see something even cooler. So hopefully the fans think that, and hopefully they like it.
Well, it's unique. It provides a unique opportunity for, I mean, I can't speak for the creators, but, you know, it's one of those, like, plenty of movies and shows, they go, hey, this is an other option I had thought of, and I hadn't had an opportunity to do that. Like, I've seen that before, and other authors talk about, like, well, we had thought to do this, and so it's an opportunity for that.
Which is actually the point of Progressive, the series anyways. Reki Kawahara, when he wrote Sword Art Online in the beginning, he was trying to get it into this competition. And so he was writing fast, and it turned out that it was too big, but he ended up getting picked up by a publisher, or no, I think he published it online. The fans really loved it. And then a publisher got involved, and then he became a professional writer. But Sword Art, the original Sword Art, Aincrad arc, had these huge time jumps because the time that Asuna and Kirito and the gang are stuck in there is about 2 years, I think. And yeah, like between the first couple of episodes, there's like several months of time jump. And so Progressive tries to sort of fill in those blanks. And now there's this movie that adds more stuff to the beginning. And fleshes out a bit more of Asuna and how she starts becoming the stronger character that everybody kind of knew right off the bat, watching first season of Sword Art. That's exactly what Reki Kawahara did. Exactly what you just said, Kari. And I think it's cool. I hope that they do volume 2, because I really loved volume 2. There's a dark elf character, or there's a whole class of dark elves on the floor that they get to. That's just, they're so cool. And there's a little mystery that goes on up there, and a future villain. He's actually in this movie as well, but Kirito has a little bit more contact with this particular character. Again, I can't say who it is. I don't want to spoil it, but it starts laying sort of the groundwork for that relationship.
Very cool.
Kirito and this villain.
I thought of it now. The Expanse.
Oh.
The Expanse was one of where the authors were involved with the show, and they even spoke about how they did different things. Very cool.
I read that article, actually.
Yeah.
And there was,
Now, is anything else you'd like to add, tell the fans, or anything about your recording experience, the release of the film during COVID times, or anything like that before you sign off?
it was awesome seeing it with the fans. The folks, there were several of the voice actors were there. Several of the voice actors from previous seasons of Sword Art were there. So that was really cool to see it, find out about it. Kaylee was there, Brandon, Maureen showed up. It was Kimberly Woods, Deneen, Lizzie Freeman, Chris Hackney was there. It was really cool seeing everybody come and support the show. And there's some people I was meeting for the first time. I'd only worked with them remotely, like Inaris. She was awesome to meet. And I got to tell her to her face, hey, you did an awesome job, and I hope you're proud of this when you see it. And I think she was. I mean, she said she dug it. She really liked her little moments there. So that made me happy. I got to meet Ryan Levy, who I'd only worked with, I think, once, and it was actually on Sword Art. He played Asuna's older brother. And he was nice to finally meet. Hopefully I'll get to work with him more in the future too, along with everybody else, obviously. If you're a fan of Sword Art, I hope you like it. Hopefully, you can get to see it in whichever version you want, subtitled or dubbed. If you feel comfortable enough going to theaters and stuff, depending on where you're at and how safe it is or how safe you feel. That's the only thing. It's a weird time for movies to be released, period. So, so if anybody does get to go see this and stuff, hey, thanks for supporting the movie and Sword Art in general. And I hope you like it. I hope it was worth the trip and the ticket price.
Nice. Yay. Katie, anything you wanted to add real quick?
Not at the moment. Thank you for coming on. And the movie
thanks
sounds
for
amazing.
Thanks for having me. And if you end up going to see it, I hope you like it too.
Yes. And everybody be sure to go follow it. There's his handle right there, Alex Von David over on Twitter. Thank you so much for coming on and talking Sword Art Progressive with us.
No, thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure. So, bye guys. Have a good rest of the show.
Bye. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
And then thank you, everybody. Stick around. We're still going into more fun stuff. We're going to go into, where is it? There we go. LA Comic Con. It's something else we are excited about. And then stay tuned. We're going to be talking Demon Slayer. Don't worry. We're going to get to that. So Katie, you went to LA Comic Con on Saturday. How was your experience?
It was wild being back at a con. It really was. Again, we mentioned a little bit about how some of it's exhilarating and some of it's straight up terrifying. And occasionally walking by someone in the dealer's hall not wearing their mask was just like, stop it. Stop it. But for the most part, people were great. I love seeing cosplayers build matching masks for their cosplay. That has been one of my favorite things to see for conventions and cosplaying during the pandemic is seeing people pick something that's not necessarily the same fabric but works to theme. Like I saw someone dressed as a Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, and he had a pink mask with fringe down to here.
Ooh.
And it was perfect. It was perfect.
I like it. That sounds very appropriate.
Oh,
he would have that kind of glam.
He would. And I always enjoy seeing people with fun masks regardless. And I actually bought one myself because I found a booth in the Artist Alley that was doing it 80% nostalgia by volume. So a lot of her stuff was Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon and Monster Rancher. And she had a mask printed with the Millennium items. And I'm like, that one, put it on my face. Thank you.
Artist Alley is my favorite spot to buy stuff because you'll find the most creative and most unique and just all kinds of different items. Like these earrings are Artist Alley from Comic-Con. I'll tag that on my Instagram somewhere later.
This pin.
Nice. Yeah, I'm like
ridiculous. It's a candy cane with the pipe cleaner and the googly eyes on it to make a reindeer, like we used to do when we were 5. And someone had that as a pin, and I about lost my damn mind and immediately bought one. Everything I bought from this convention was at Artist Alley because Artist Alley is wonderful. Always support your Artist Alley.
That too.
And I have to say, the single best cosplay that I saw at the whole con, because when I go, I have an eye for Artist Alley and I have an eye for cosplayers, and there were some incredible ones there. But I think my favorite walked into the convention center and immediately saw someone cosplaying the Happy Mask Salesman from Majora's Mask, which is just a great thing to do to begin with. Had the huge pack, had the outfit, had the everything. And so I walked up and asked for a picture, and they said, oh, hold on a minute, and opened this purple bag and pulled out a bunch of blue surgical masks like they were offering them for sale. And oh my God, just about lost it.
You gotta love the creativity also because a lot of the conventions, since they've had to shift, it's a different time of year, which means your outfit might not be appropriate and comfortable wise for the new time of year, because maybe, normally an event, like for example, last weekend was Comic-Con or so, and normally that'd be in July, which is, really hot in San Diego, and it was cold. So planning to change your outfit, I'm like, oh, good job of pulling something together.
Admittedly, going into the West Hall of the LA Convention Center anyway is always freezing. So,
it was better on Sunday, but people I mentioned that to were like, it was even colder yesterday. And I came ready. I wore a jacket, I wore a turtleneck, I wore a scarf, and like was all bundled up. And I'm like, okay, so it's not as cold as Katie said, but I think it's just warmer today. And then other people said that though. They're like, it was colder yesterday. So maybe they're like,
God. I was shivering. It was sitting in the Persona panel was a lot of fun. Sitting in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure panel was even better. Because I've seen like 5 episodes of JoJo's, but the energy in the room was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
There was a pose off between fans at one point, and it's kind of beautiful and terrifying watching people do physics-defying JoJo's poses in real life. It was great.
Yes. That's really
cool. How about you?
I popped in on Sunday, and it was nice to go check out the FANVERSATION Instagram page if you're not already following them. That's fan_versation, or just search FANVERSATION on Instagram. You'll find it. Also, it's in the link in the description down below when this is all done. And also, side note, if you're watching this live, welcome. If you're watching it later, no worries. Comment down below your thoughts on the stuff we've covered. Yeah, the Sunday was really chill. I got there not terribly early because I was like, it's not going to happen. But I spent a lot of time.
I feel that.
I'm going to try. I didn't get to any panels, not really, but I had a really good time in West Hall and talking to voice actors. So stay tuned. We're going to have probably more guests down the line, everybody. Check out on the FANVERSATION Instagram as well as mine. I have some pictures with different voice actors I bumped into, which was really great too. It was really nice to say hi to friends that you know regularly. It was nice to reintroduce yourself to people that like you had only maybe met digitally, because there were some people I've interviewed. It was just online. So it was like, hi, here's me as a physical person. Or I did the thing where I was like, hi, this is my face. All right, mask on, like just so you have context of what this looks like, which is
the
cool.
moment or two of, I know you. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think masking was generally good. I maybe saw one person who didn't, though I will say their checking at the door was a bit subpar, because I had better check of my vaccination card over at Yard House going in, which is really good food, by the way, if anybody has not gone to Yard House yet. Not sponsored, but damn, I do like Yard House. No, when I first got there at Yard House, I had to show my vaccination card and ID, and they checked it. When I got to LA Comic Con, I just showed my vaccination card, and they're like, okay, go ahead. And they didn't check it against an ID. And I'm like,
they did for me.
I don't know. Maybe Sunday they were tired. Maybe it's that person end of the day. I don't know. But there were some thoughts. Hey, we got Giga Derek in the chat. Hey! What's up? Welcome. So yeah, I mean, it was fine. I didn't necessarily feel uncomfortable. I feel most people were being pretty responsible about everything, so it was fine. And yeah, it was great to introduce myself newly as press to voice actors and be like, hello, I've seen you online, and like inviting them to our show. So stay tuned, like I said. So that was great. Made my way over to the exhibit hall, where just need to check out all the booths. Also, side tip, if anybody ever goes to conventions, Sundays are the best day to buy things. You know why? Because they're leaving and they don't want to take everything back with them. So not everyone, but a lot of them mark down their prices. Or if you're like, all right, I got earrings and a ring, and it was one price for like one and the other. And I'm like, I have $10 cash and I'll take it for both. And they're like, all right, deal. And I'm like, yes, all right.
I've done that at Artist Alley before in cash only places when I didn't know they were cash only. Anime Pasadena.
Yeah.
Like, the bag is $25. I have $23 left. Can I still have the bag? Yeah, sure. And now it's my convention and Overwatch League and everything bag. It's the Haunted Mansion wallpaper, but done with ghost Pokemon. And
nice.
It's amazing. Oh, it's such a good print. It's so good.
Yeah. It won't be the like Disney or Marvel booths selling you discounted stuff, but the smaller ones, yes. Though I did see some spots that were like they weren't doing cash because they didn't, want to handle anything, which I'm like, I get it.
But a few years ago that I did that.
Yeah. But still, it's a good some booths if they were comfortable with it. But again, if you're shopping and you want to bargain, wait till like the last day. Also, then you're not carrying around things as long. And that was great. Also,
flip side of that is, if you have something specific and you want it.
Get that then. Get it then. Don't wait. No, that's true. If there's one thing that you want, no, don't wait.
Yeah. Don't wait. If you're like, yes, this thing by this booth, just go. Get it. Just do it. Get yourself
or
that
you won't
guarantee.
Find it.
Don't wait.
Yeah. And then shout out to another FANVERSATION host. Yael Teagle had some hosting over at the hashtag show booth. And so you can check some of that out on her page. So that was cool just to run into friends like that and see the main stage. And yeah, I had a good time. It was nice. It was chill. It was, it's different, but I like that most people there was one thing. My experience, great. It's like we're all dealing. That's the other thing. We are all in this together. Okay. So don't make this harder than it needs to be. On the way out, there were some people. I do not know how this altercation started, but there were a couple fans leaving, and I guess security was like pushing them out. I didn't see how it started, but even if they were in the right, it was escalating the situation more than it needed to. Again, personal opinion on it, but it's kind of like, dude, just be like, all right, cool, we're leaving. Everybody's leaving. Nobody's like, it's one of those like, say your piece and leave.
Everything's closed. Just get out.
Yeah.
Just get out. So, go. Buy a hot dog from the street vendors that have encircled the convention exit.
Go outside.
They're bacon wrapped. They're $5 and they're great.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't
best
care.
Meal at the con, free hot dog.
Yeah. Because again, just reiterating, but again, it's one of those like, I don't care who's right or who's wrong in that situation. Everybody's leaving. Just exit the building. let's not make this bigger than it needs to be. Like,
Yeah.
it just was really kind of an icky, sour thing to other people's experience on the way out, because it really was like sounding maybe a little hippie-ish here, but I'm like, it's ruining the vibe. Like, you're ruining the vibe. Like, come on, people. We're all in this together.
There's things
But
that are definitely worth making noise about. Like, I've seen
yes,
complaints about some conventions and some spaces where
yeah,
their ADA accessibility is subpar at best. And those are things that are definitely worth raising concerns and fighting for.
yeah.
Leaving a convention at the end of the day when the convention's closed, not so much. We
Just
all
leave.
have to leave now.
Yeah.
Get
Nobody's
out.
staying longer. Yeah.
No, everyone's closing up. Everyone wants to go.
So.
Everyone else wants a $5 street hot dog too. Everyone's hungry.
That's why I went to Yard House, because I wanted solid food, more like a meal. But anyway, it was fun.
Collins and being like, what do I even put in my bag anymore? How
right?
do I pack for a con? I'm only going snacks for a day, but I did.
Okay,
I
good.
did.
Water bottle. They did have
because I was running around.
Yes, they do have the things now where it's like you put your water bottle up and it just fills it, so you don't have to touch anything.
I love those.
Yes. That's our other
water bottle in its little condensation sock, and just always bring a water bottle. Make sure it's empty when you bring it in, so they don't stop you at the door like, "Hey, what the hell?"
Or get ready to chug it.
Someone outside handing out G Fuel, which was an experience.
Okay.
It's in my fridge.
Pro tip:
I'm a little scared.
Bring your water. And the other pro tip: bring snacks. Bring at least a protein bar or just something to tide you over until your next meal. Trust us, you will thank yourself later. It's because it's hard to get away. Like, maybe you want to sit in a panel all day. You just bring something, and not just junk food. I don't mind a fruit roll or two, like a little bit of extra sugar, but have something, some protein, some carbs, tide you over. Gig Derek wants a question about $5 street hot dogs. What? Yes, this is a big thing
hot dogs
at the LA Convention Center.
I feel like this is a larger city thing, because I never saw them on the streets of Colorado Springs growing up, but you see a ton of them in LA in large spaces that are highly frequented. So Hollywood Boulevard pretty much always has at least one. If you're in a big long line for a big long event, odds are you will see a vendor with a cart walking up and down. They also do whatnot. And then LA Convention Center whenever there's an event, and it's a cart that has a grill in it, and they straight up grill hot dogs and wrap them in bacon, and they're grilling peppers and
they
onions
smell
on the side.
so good.
Oh my god. A $5 street hot dog is some of the best food that you will get at a Los Angeles convention. Part of it's because you're hungry at the end of the day, and part of it's because they're actually good, and they take Venmo now.
Oh, that's cool.
They had their, Venmo QR codes on the cart, and I'm like, this is brilliant. I'm gonna go.
I'll admit,
I've
never
don't have other plans. But oh god, I do the $5 street hot dogs all the time. I've gotten them out after movies at El Capitan on Hollywood Boulevard. Just roll out of El Cap. I can either spend $30 at the Hard Rock to get food, or I can get a $5 hot dog and support a small business. $5 street hot dog. Let's go.
I love the food trucks, but the only thing that's a complaint on food trucks is often they can be a long line. So, but I didn't see what ones they had this time, but Anime Expo, it's nice because they normally have so many of them that at least one of them is going to have a short line. So, yeah.
They had a number of them at the, God, what was the beer? The Voodoo Ranger, I think?
Yes, that was the new one. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the big lounges that they had opened up to the food truck area, and that's where they were.
Okay.
Like at the back of the convention center.
Oh, yeah.
Giga
Derek says, Anime NYC, they were charging $16, referring to the hot dogs. 2 blocks to the left, they got an extra large curry for $13. Ooh, I like that. Curry for the win. There we go.
All right, it's like I could do this, or I could just wander over to the Starbucks at LA Live, spend money on the gift card I already have, and get an egg and bacon sandwich. Let's go.
Too. Yep.
It's just, there's
yeah,
always a solution, but we do recommend packing your bag. PB and
have
J's
something.
for a long day are a lifesaver.
Yeah, apple slices, I like those. Jerky, any kind,
Mixed nuts,
you know, whatever kind you like.
mixed nuts
I had
for that protein
mixed
hit.
nuts. Yep. What are other ones? There's different things you can buy that are like small little snack pack things. So
They sell individual servings of like Cheez-Its and little
yeah,
cookies and just like snacky stuff.
put it in a bag. You'll thank yourself later. Don't bring reusable containers, though I would say that's better. But the thing is, condense. You know, you don't want to carry it around. So something that wraps up. Speaking of wrapping up, I think we're wrapping up our LA Comic-Con coverage and moving over
Which
to
turned into convention tips.
Hey, if we
should
give
do
you
a
all kinds of
convention tip.
advice on this show. Personal experience over the years. All right, Demon Slayer. I question Katie. So I'm not reading the manga. You haven't read the manga, right?
No. Nope.
Okay.
So no spoilers, no manga spoilers in the chat or the comments, please.
Yes. No spoilers, y'all. We're just covering the episode.
Behave.
So if you have not watched the episode, go watch it and then come back. Did you watch the trailer before you watched this episode of it?
I don't remember. So
Okay,
functionally, no, because I legitimately don't remember.
Well, that's the question posed to viewers and then you too. Comment down below your thoughts. Do you like going into a show or a season cold in movies? Or do you like to know a little bit more? I think I'm a little bit both, but it was so nice coming into this going, I have no idea what to expect. I mean, I had seen one person post that we're going to see about a certain Hashira. So I'm like, all right, we're probably going to see that person. But I didn't know anything. And I just liked being like, I'm just going to take it all in. And oh my gosh, it was beautiful. I turned the lights off and on my big screen TV, I'm like, oh, because I've been watching the recap on a computer. Oh my gosh, stunning. I'm like, is it just better this season or is it better on my TV or both?
It's better on your TV, but also this season so far. Like, this show is 80% Sakuga by volume. They occasionally had scenes of someone running, and I'm like, they put a lot of animation value into that. Dang.
It's just like so pretty, so just ufotable. And sorry if I say their name wrong, but their animation is just chef's kiss of amazing.
Incredible. Incredible.
So you tweeted a thing about like your feels of watching this episode. So if you want to elaborate, what were your feels watching this episode going into this new season?
First of all, the reason I don't trust myself to comment on most Sword Art Online stuff is because I love SAO Abridged so much. SAO Abridged is really good.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I have not watched that. I'm a traditionalist.
You gotta. That will go into it in the recommendations bit because that is my recommendation for the day. But there's a bit where Kirito's getting mad and he's yelling and he's emotionally hurt. And at one point he yells, "Quit kicking my heart in the dick." And that's what this series is. I was watching it with my roommate and she goes, "This show is really good at animating people crying." And I'm like, well, yeah, a lot of them do it a lot of the time. We do it a lot too. So, like, I knew this was going to hurt my heart. I don't know why. I didn't think we were going to get the bits at the Rengoku family home for, I didn't think we were going to get those right away.
Right. That was quick.
Did.
Immediately. I mean, it was kind of what we thought. It was picked up exactly where we left off. They got to the family way faster. I'm kind of glad that Crow left the message versus Tanjiro having to be like the main break the news person.
But silence and then the little brother falling to his knees. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm going to be in pain all night.
But the other thing, though, too, so far, depending on how long it goes for, we're following another Hashira, so we'll see how often. I mean, not what?
I don't like him.
Okay. No, I like it.
I don't like him. And I'm sure
add some spice to the chat.
But this person's my favorite. And I'm like, I don't care if this person's your favorite. He made the worst first impression. Second impression, but I don't remember most of season 1. First impression.
I audibly gasped with the booty slap. I was like, I was like, whoa, sir, hold it. Like, excuse me?
And then they show us the opening and he's in front of a grave and it's like, oh no, his shinobi family's probably all dead. And I'm like, I know you're going to make me care about him. I know you're going to make me care about him. And I'm going to fight it every step of the way. And then at the end of this arc, I'm going to be like, you're so good. I love you. Like this show.
Oh yeah, they're going to do
like
that
Rengoku
for sure.
when it started either. It was just like, this guy. And then we got the movie and I went, he wasn't here for very long and I missed him.
Giga Derek says, I was right about that damn bird. Yeah. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, they definitely hit you with that. The feel so much right at the top. I also like, not only is it a show that focuses on crying, but that it's okay to be sad. Like Zenitsu commenting on the fact that Tanjiro's sad is like, you know what? Even this guy can be sad. I was like, oh, mental health awareness, essentially. It was like, it was nice to address that it's like, just because Tanjiro is normally the most wholesome best boy ever, it's like he can feel down. Which, side note on that, I loved when he politely insulted the father so much. Like, you are a big meanie. Like, that's essentially how rude that he can be. I was so like, wow. Like, he doesn't go, there's no swear words there.
Say, fuck you.
Yeah, he's just like, you big meanie. And
I love that he wound up headbutting the dad.
Oh, yes.
Like you're not supposed to like this character. He's obviously something capital H happened to him. He's not dealing with it well, and he's pushing his disappointment and frustration and feelings of worthlessness out on both of his sons, and obviously not coping well. And my God, I can't. Senjiro, was that the younger name?
I think so. Yes.
Poor kid.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You deserve better.
The cringe when he like flinched. I'm like, just like, I hurt for you to see that. I'm like, but I like that he still delivered that message. He's like, please take care of yourself. That was the message. Okay, bye. I'm like, yes, you're a little bit of standing up.
And those being the words, like, that was actually the point where we got they're really good at drawing people crying in this show.
And then the dad is like,
dad losing it. And it's like, that might have been it might be a turning point for him. It might not be. Who knows? But we got tidbits about sun breathing and the earrings having something to do with it. And the shredded book hurt me in my soul. Why would you do that? So
wait, you don't like it, the arts and crafts where people cut up a book to decorate a thing?
It's one thing if you take an older book, take a whatever, and use it as art. This was malicious.
This is true.
This was, because that Dad did this, because it's the thing
he's always reading.
And this was him taking out his issues on information that was only ever one book, one source. So now the information is in the head of this abusive drunk.
Oh, we're coming back to him.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're absolutely coming back to it. But now we at least have a name for something and something to pursue.
Yes.
And I also, just switching tacks, I love our... Megan calls him Michael Jackson demon, and I just the Michael Jackson demon look. I love him pretending to be a small child. And
wait, so you think that's him in that one?
They confirmed it in the episode.
Oh, I thought it was okay. Then that went over my head.
No.
I thought
switching tacks completely. He's pretending to be this adopted child in this pharmaceutical guy's house.
Because the last time we saw him, he was appearing as a woman. Yeah. So okay, but then we just don't see the ship
as a tiny child.
This is why we have this discussion show, y'all. And this is why you talk to anime people. Because I just thought this was going to be some other higher up. Like this was some other.
What's his name? Akaza Azaka. I'm very bad at his name.
Oh,
that guy, upper 3, took him to task, and then that's the point. I appreciate that he just punched.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's
to pieces and then got really mad, and I'm like, how many people want to kill this child upon meeting him once?
Yeah,
he is our protagonist, but good goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know why that didn't click for me. I guess since because our main Michael Jackson demon looking thing, it's still in the trailer being in that woman's shape, but maybe we get later how that shifted later, you know?
Shapeshifter. The best that I can figure is that shapeshifting is one of his powers because he is currently pretending to be this small child with a skin disease, which means he can't go out at night.
Yeah, I know. I have skin disease.
And this pharmaceutical company trying to make the miracle drug so he can essentially become a daywalker. Like, oh, that's manipulative as shit.
Oh, yeah.
And a really good idea. Like, I don't like you, but I can respect the hustle.
Yeah, I really hope then, I'd be curious then for the new season once it's dubbed if we get the same voice because it was Greg Chun. Shout out to Greg from before. And I'm like, I really hope he does this too because his voice as that character is so good. But the child's voice is the man's voice. I don't know what impression that was, but a deeper voice. So
the kid's voice right up until it doesn't need to be.
Yeah,
it's the kid's voice right up until he drops the. But I love the dad coming up. I heard something, and I'm like, there's blood, and there's the glass is shattered, and the dad comes in.
I'm surprised he didn't notice that. Yeah. Giga Derek said he's probably just eating these families, huh? I mean, he could be making his way. It's that idea of anything that looks immortal. You can go for maybe about 5 years before people notice. And then it's like, then maybe he's doing new family. But we haven't had that much time pass. So
again,
maybe this shape. Yeah, maybe this is just a new, because they said he came to us. So I'm wondering if like this is just where he's chosen to go for now.
Yeah. Because he's also got this other like wife and child family. And I wonder if they're like,
that's true.
He's out on business. And it's possible. I don't know if that kid is his or if this is a married to the family thing or what, but 50-50 chance on whether he actually loves this family or whether it's
no, they're just food.
I think no. Yeah. Honestly, it could go either way. I honestly think it could go either way. It would be curious.
We'll see if how much they come back to it. Yeah.
I mean, for those of you who've seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or read the manga, real big vibes there. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, and for those of you who don't, read the manga. Just read the manga. It's so good.
What else for something's cool? But I mean, I feel this path that Tanjiro's on now with the sun breathing is his next level up of like, that's how it will be a minute possibility that he could take out this higher level demon or the top one, because how skilled we saw as the upper three, it's like here, this guy's like, whew, way beyond. So we need Tanjiro to level up. Yeah. So we'll see. Though I'm curious if we'll get any sort of demon rebellion, though technically we've seen that doesn't go well. But to see how disgruntled that demon was when he left, I'm like,
he knows what side his bread is buttered on.
Yeah.
And we know that, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but my brain just goes, Michael Jackson. Like, he's got a name. He's got a name. He's got a name. Our new Hashira has a name. Like, so many people have names, and it took me forever to remember Zenitsu. So, I'm very bad at this, and I make no bones about that. I'm very bad at this. But we knew that he could read the thoughts of the lower six, and it stands to reason that he can also read the thoughts of the upper six. And you don't get very far in a rebellion against a mind reader who made you who you are. So
Muzan.
Muzan. Okay.
See, that's what I was like. I think the name he was saying was the name of the bad demon. I'm scrolling through a list. If people know,
Azaka, that guy.
Okay, yeah. So the big baddie is Muzan Kubutsuji.
Right. Yeah. So
okay. It's trying not to read too much because I'm like, don't give me spoilers. They're not.
No,
but I want to see more.
Worry about it.
Ooh. But it's cool to see pictures of the 1, 2, 3, 4s and more.
Yeah. I think we're getting. I'm pretty sure, just from the key visual that we have for this season that was released, I'm pretty sure we're dealing with another upper 6.
Yes, because we've killed rank. The
What?
lower 12
All of the
are
lower
dead.
6. All of the lower 6 are gone.
Yeah.
Now we just have the upper 6. And they're all still here despite Rengoku's best efforts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like this. I only remember that Shira's a new rude one. You know what? You are not that far off.
They translate his keyword as flashy.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'll give you that. I'll give you with the shine and the dazzle.
It is
I'm really interested
Tengen.
to see what the dub does with that.
Tengen Uzui.
Great.
Tengen.
Get him out of here.
And there's a picture that we've seen, and not really spoiler because I've seen a million people post about this, but he has 3 wives, BT dubs. Because I'm like, that's in the
Opening.
song part, where we see it, the opener. What'd you think of the music this time around?
I was like,
okay. Yep.
Demon Slayer always has absolute bangers for its opening and its ending. We got to see the opening.
Yes.
We won't get to see the ending until next episode.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm like, where's their other bit? Yeah. But it's nice.
I mean, you never get the ending in the first one because they use the opening as the ending.
I just didn't like that it was on all parties. It was the worst examples of communication. You're kidnapping her. You're ordered. You need to have not that he just probably goes, I don't have to explain myself. I have orders to take somebody. You're one of the people. You just have to go with me. She's not skilled at that level. She shouldn't be going with you, which they all eventually get to eventually. But it's like, words, y'all. Like,
she somehow made it into the Corps. I don't know how she did, but I'm not allowed to take that apprentice, but I'm allowed to take
he takes the other one, and he's like, this child. He's like, oh, and this tosses her. And I like Tanjiro, like, I'm going to help out, and then we'll go with you. Though I did have a moment that I'm like, if they heard the when they're like, what do you mean we? And we saw our little tri-hero of boys. I was so excited for them. I was like, yay.
It was an extremely Sentai entrance.
Oh, I loved it, though. It was so good. It was so good. It was like the hero pose. But the moment where they said, like, I need women or something, I'm like, is Tanjiro offering to go and drag right now? Because also we got Inosuke, who's very pretty. So this week, I'm like, maybe this is where we're going. But I feel that might be a thing but I feel that could be a plot storyline later, because if they are trying to infiltrate and hide somewhere, it's safer for them to be kidnapped than somebody else, It's like,
and we saw in the opening Zenitsu dressed up as an entertainer with the shamisen.
Yes.
So,
and he had his little pigtails going on and a little blush. So maybe, we'll see.
Either way, this one is going to be fun, and also I am absolutely certain it is going to hurt me once again, because if there's one thing I can rely on for Demon Slayer, it's that it will hurt me.
Yes, they definitely dig you in and then hurt you with the feels, because I agree. Tengen, I feel he's smarter, but he's not communicating right, and then he doesn't seem to be getting stuff, and I'm like, but you're not stupid. So why are you not getting what you're doing is a problem. I know you have your orders, but again, it's one of those like.
For one, I wonder if raised as a ninja, as a shinobi. Shinobi,
which are ninjas.
Has anything to do with that? And for another, I wonder if he's just like, the rules don't apply to me.
Yes, I mean, he could have that just attitude. We have a good point where, here we go. Giga Derek says, it hurts so good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This entire show is, boy, that's a nice blank. Sure would be a shame if something happened to it. That's a nice family. That's a nice Rengoku. That's a nice your emotions. Like,
Yes. Well, it sounds like we are enjoying it and excited to see where it goes, which is absolutely. I'm so glad it's back. I'm slightly bummed that we have to wait weekly, but it's so good that it's okay.
This is why you watch a bunch of weekly shows, so you just have things.
That's true. You have something else.
Days.
Yep.
And I say this as someone who still has a backlog from over Thanksgiving, only just
Right.
got caught up with Banished from the Heroes Party, and God, that show's gotten so good. Oh my God.
Which, speaking of that, we'll do a quick stuff you should check out before we wrap up. I did start watching that, but I only got like the
Really?
first episode or two. So how long till like it really starts rolling?
The first
It's
two
a slow.
didn't twig you already?
I mean, it's interesting, but you said I was curious on like where they're going with it, you know?
I also mainlined like the first 5 in a day.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah, I think
possible, yeah.
I would
Keep
never judge an
going.
anime on just the first 2. Side
Yeah.
note for anybody checking out a new anime, I generally give an anime 3 to 5 because sometimes it's where is it going? You're not going to get the whole vibe in just one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you can generally figure out if the characters, the pacing, etc., work for you within the first 3 or so.
It felt nice and light that I'm like, yeah, maybe later I'll check that out. Like it didn't grab me, but I wasn't turned away.
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. There's definitely developments that have been like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what?
Interesting concepts, which I like that. So, okay.
Yeah. They definitely wait before they start going, and here's this, and here's this other thing, and here's this bit of world building you didn't know. And then it's like, the world building is great. The world itself is a nightmare. I love it.
Nice.
Yes.
I was going to say that.
Or were you just telling me that you're up on my anime?
I was going off of yours, and I would just say my other recommending. I'm still watching Kami-sama Kiss. I'd be curious where it goes, like in the long run, because that's the other thing too with like watching a show, is it could be really fun, but maybe the ending's kind of like which I'm still really enjoying it. It's still really nice, cute, and light romance, slightly on the spicy side in a good way of like a little more fun. I did watch all of Cowboy Bebop, the animated show. I had never seen that ending apparently. I'm still not exactly sure how I feel about it.
Did you watch the movie?
I have, but the movie takes place before that ending. So because the movie, even though it's after, I looked this up, it's like 26 episodes. The movie takes place between 22 and 23 or something like that. And so I was like,
fair.
That doesn't mean it keeps going, but it's okay. I do recommend it. If you've never watched it all the way through, it's on Netflix and Funimation. Go watch it. So that'd be my recommendation if it's one of those. Because that was one that I'm like, yes, I've seen Cowboy Bebop, but I don't think I'd ever sat and like watched the whole thing through. So
I've seen my quick recommendation episodes in different places.
Like, oh yeah.
Yes.
But I feel the ending works with the overall vibe of what happens in this show. And there was probably only one episode I thought was really dumb. But otherwise. No, it was the cowboy guy on a horse.
Really? I think that's one of the ones I've seen, and I think I loved that.
Maybe out of context. Maybe out of the context, it would have been okay. But the other ones, it just felt really like, okay. But that's just me.
Fair.
But yes, what's your quick recommendation?
Y'all need to watch SAO Abridged.
Okay.
Like,
is that just like on YouTube, or where's that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. A lot of my entertainment is YouTube based.
Hey.
Yeah. For those not familiar, an abridged series essentially takes a piece of media, usually an anime, because this began with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and distills it down to its base elements and rewrites it as a comedy. So Sword Art Online Abridged takes Sword Art Online, which it's SAO, it's got some good points, and it's also got some oh boy points, because this was Riki Kawahara's first work and the writing was not always the best. If you've stepped foot into SAO before, all of this. You've heard all of this. SAO Abridged reimagines Kirito as like this elite gamer who is extremely bad with social skills and legitimately does not understand why people don't like him. Like, he's good at this stuff and he's just telling the truth, and why are people being mean? And it's slow discovery. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, oh God, he's being an asshole. And then you get that internal monologue and you're like, oh no, he legitimately does not understand. oh boy. So yeah, by
Uh,
Something Witty Entertainment. That's the YouTube channel.
Thank you,
And
Giga Derek.
so you get this really good slow development of his character as he starts making the friends we know and realizing like, oh my god, there's stuff to this. Like humanity isn't garbage. Oh my god. And so it's wild. The way they do
Mhm.
Laugh and Coffin is one of the funniest things I've seen in a
Oh, man.
while. Aguila is amazing. Asuna is great. And there are a few things where they set it up so well in terms of just setup and payoff for plot hooks. It's a little wild. It's not safe for work because language and swearing and whatnot. And
Are
the
they
Christmas
changing the
episode
actual story plot lines?
they're keeping it's still you're stuck in
Like
the
the
game. If you die
structure
in
is
the
the
game, you die for
same.
real.
They're
It's
just
the structure's the same, but it's
okay.
tightened up and it's rewritten as a comedy.
Gotcha.
So it's everything is just a bit flanderized, but also
Okay.
this is one of the only abridged series that has made me straight up cry because
Okay.
it treats the emotional moments with the magnitude they deserve. The writing is very good. The comedic timing is solid. Like,
Yeah.
even if you've never seen Sword Art Online, watch SAO Abridged. If you hate SAO, watch SAO Abridged. If you love SAO, watch SAO Abridged. Like, guys, it's
Okay.
that good.
Nice. Well, I'm very curious to check it out. I appreciate it because
It's a good
abridged are
time.
fun ways to like go at a show.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's
Nice.
most abridged series done by the larger channels are a lot of fun. I can't vouch
Yeah.
for any of the smaller ones because I haven't watched them, but SAO, Yu-Gi-Oh, DBZ, Abridged Blade Works, Bleach, they're all really good.
Nice. Well, speaking of a good time, I hope you all had a good time joining us at nighttime at the Nerd Bar. We'll got one more last comment. Gigadara says, adding on to the bridge, watch Nun Piece and Code meant by Purple Eye something.
Codement
WTF.
is a weird one.
All right.
I've seen Codement, and it is like it's almost like Robot Chicken in terms of just
Nice.
buck wild sketches back to back to back. But if
Yeah.
anyone has heard the I'm at soup bit, that's from Codement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not, so I'll have to check that out later.
I will send you I'm at soup.
Yes, I mean,
you will appreciate it.
Yes. And if you enjoyed some of the stuff we talked about on here, comment down below your thoughts on all the many topics we covered. If you watch us live, welcome. If you didn't catch us live, no worries. Comment down below, give the video a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and we'll be back again Monday night at 7:30. Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social media. One of those days. Happy Monday. Wow. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. And for those listening, it's Kiaxet. All the fun stuff is here, folks.
Yes. And y'all can find me online. I'm moving the hand over. There we go. At Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And go check out more fun videos on the FANVERSATION page, as well as our own social medias of some of the LA Comic Con shenanigans we are up to. Stay tuned for more posts on all of that, as well as some more possible SAO stuff. If you are a fan of that, you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And we'll have more continued Demon Slayer coverage. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.